I like what you were doing with the loop pedal. And I mean, I feel like it was really educational for me and for everybody else watching. Um, I guess people weren't watching. When you were having trouble setting up your loop pedal, people weren't watching. So what happened was, for those who weren't watching, was that Craig tried to plug his loop pedal in just like as a DI straight into his laptop, and then he couldn't hear when his loop pedal would repeat. But me, I could hear fine. So he had a signal routed, so he also had a monitor for the outgoing signal as well as the incoming signal, and that's important. So I feel like that's a really good lesson.
That's a solution.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, kind of, I've been taking a little bit of a different angle with it. I've been doing more of like a screen and audio sharing type of thing. So, can you see my screen here?
Not yet. I just see you right now, but.
Okay, well, let's try it again. Sometimes
okay, now I see it. Yep.
And then it disappeared.
Looks like Reason.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a great program.
Exactly.
I use Vegas actually personally, but I love Reason.
So,
Is that Reason?
Yeah, it's Reason. You all good now?
Yeah,
okay.
I can see it.
So one thing we can do to really quickly get playing with Reason, and you actually inspired this. To think about, how I could give us a beat to play over when we were doing the echo and the kirtan and it was having so much trouble. So
that was the part that I was like, I wanted to hear the other Eric with a K. Like, it sounded like he had some really good synth sounds and everything. Like, I wish he could have played something through like that.
That too, right? Exactly.
That was right in the beginning when you first started the show, I think.
Yeah, well, and he's been on a couple of times, but
I'd love to get him on, man. I loved getting those synth sounds in and drum beats.
Okay, so
yeah, that sounds good.
So you can see where we're at here.
Yeah, you can just create.
I've got us our click track. I've got us our drum beat, right? And I can switch to drawing a different loops here. Look, so it'll switch to pattern 2 here, and then I'm going to turn off this loop. That's not right. And then I can switch to pattern 3 here, and you can see I'm drawing these little things, and then it's going to play through them.
Cool.
And then I can loop it right here. See my little loop tool. So I can make like a 32 bar loop or whatever. But see, the neat thing is I have full access to my whole DAW, so I can make everything. You can
switch the screen after you're done, though, right? Because I like seeing you play better.
Right. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But so now we want a bass, right? So let's make a bass. How about
that's awesome.
How about some raw sushi? Let's see what that sounds like. Well, hold on. I made a mistake. I'm gonna have to make another instrument to do that. Okay, so I'll add another Dr. Rex. See, I'm not perfect. I make all kind of mistakes. So I'm going to choose instrument. I'm going to make another Dr. Rex here, and let's make a bass like we were talking about to go along with our little drums that we're doing. And we said raw sushi. Let's see if that sounds good. And then down here, I'm going to make another pattern lane. See, and then with my pencil tool, I can come here and choose which pattern I want to draw, and I'm going to just draw it a little differently than I did the one above it, so that way it's not exactly the same thing looping. Let's try this. There you go. Let's see what it did. That actually almost works. So
I wonder if there's a latency.
Can you still hear it?
No.
Oh, okay. See, so I have to have the screen sharing on for you to hear it.
Yeah, that's all right.
How's that? Can you hear it now?
Hear it. Mm-hmm. What key are you playing in?
A minor. Okay. So, in answer to your question, with the loop pedal, see, I've actually been kind of going the opposite direction. Rather than trying to do more analog stuff before the input, right?
Yeah, I
I've
hear
been
you.
trying to do digital stuff after the input
Right.
by
Mm-hmm.
using the screen share and sharing the audio. So that way I can share. And with the We Are the Hits, this really makes sense. So I was trying to figure out before how I could make, you know, a video, because with YouTube live streaming, screen sharing is a pain in the ass. You have to have another app to do it. So I was like, well, I want to make a video and be able to share my audio on my screen without having to have another app. I have plenty of
Right.
apps.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I do it in Zoom? Well, the other thing about Zoom is that then if I need to, I can take my MP4 and I can edit it before I uploaded it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you're live, you can't do that. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can edit it after the fact, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
yeah. So I've been trying to think about how can I make it an interactive experience where I'm using my computer to provide the audio rather than external audio sources,
Right.
um,
I hear you.
for latency purposes mainly,
Mm-hmm.
because it helps keep everybody together. But your
Yeah.
loop pedal worked well too.
Yeah, it worked pretty good. I was thinking actually while we were doing it, I would love to take like an A/B switch, plug my phone in, and have like that even that Kirtan drum program, or whatever. I could just hit the A/B switch, hit the loop pedal, loop it, and actually you could do it perfectly because there's a counter on it. Even you could just see whatever how many bars you want. Just loop it and then hit the A/B switch, and then I could be back to vocal mics or guitar depending on what I want for the loop. I think that would work too. Like you could throw a drum track underneath even, rather
Hmm.
than doing human beatbox.
And I mean, I think the difference in what we're talking about is the perspective, because when I first started with YouTube, like I said before, just to reiterate my point, I was treating it like an online gig, and then other
Mhm.
people are like, no, dude, treat it like a recording session. Now
Yeah,
I
totally.
see value in both.
Me too, for sure.
Now I couldn't make those picture-in-picture videos without treating it like a recording session, though.
Hmm.
How am I going to play my guitar, sing, and play saxophone
Exactly.
all at the same time? Right? So I wouldn't have had those ideas if I hadn't started treating it like a recording session. So honestly, that's a topic for a whole Mastering Music with Matthew beyond what we're doing now. Is the difference in what you get, the finished product of whether you're treating it like a gig and getting the best possible quality you can get, or whether
Yeah.
you're treating it like a recording session. Honestly, the recording session is unfair because you can mix and master and then you can make sure everything's perfect. I mean, and like for a couple of the covers I did, like my ukulele, um, this guy right here, it's a cheap ukulele. I'm gonna tell you the whole truth, man. This thing only cost $100, brand new. And so the pickup on it does have a pickup, which is really cool.
That's
But the
awesome.
pickup on it sucks, and
Hmm.
it'll like snow and shit, like
Oh man, that's
underneath the
rough.
sound.
Uh-huh.
And like if you bump the chord, it'll be lighter or less or more or whatever.
You can
So
get a free program to fix that, by the way. Do you
sure,
know what?
sure. Well, but I found a better way to
Modify? Have you
fix
ever
it.
used it?
I found a better way to fix it. Just
Okay,
only
cool.
record the loop outside, the ukulele outside, and then that
Ah,
way I take a little bit of that GoPro feed from the camera, and put it usually about -11 on my gain, and then that allows me to get a little tiny little bit of wind and river sound because I'm right next to the river,
I know. I love that.
right? And the wind and the river kind of makes up for that crackling and makes it sound like wind and river.
Yeah, it's a white noise, but you could fix it with a free program called Audiology. It's a free
Audiology.
download, and all you do is put in the track, and what you try to do is record the snow enough that you're not playing anything. Just so when you plug the cable in, you're getting the snow, or you have to be playing to have the snow.
Um,
Which one? Because
I
if it
I
just is
think it's
on
just the
there,
pickup.
if you can go on and you can get 5 seconds of just the snow, you clip on that, and then you go to this noise reduction thing that's just in the program, and it figures out and takes out all of whatever you don't want, basically. So you show it what you don't want, and then you hit process, and it'll process the whole track. I would say, from an audio engineer perspective, it's like 90% good. Like you're getting a little bit of, corruption with it, a tiny bit. But when it's really a lot of snow, it's actually worth it because you can just boost it with the EQ, or like you showed on one of your programs, you can give it shoulders or double it and give it back what it lost with the audiology.
Oh
And
man.
that actually works really good. It works good because I use that KSM 44 mic that you use for your album to do the yoga classes,
Mm-hmm.
and it picks up everything. I mean, because I
Mm-hmm.
just put it on oscillation, that big circle, because I'm right underneath it basically, and I
Mm-hmm.
have to move through asanas, all different postures and everything, and I don't have a mic on me, so I got to keep the circle open so it takes in everything. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I really learned. And the program is free, and it actually works better than programs that I bought to do that in the past.
Neat.
It's a free download, and so I can put that on there, and any noise that I don't want, I can eliminate from the track, and it makes a huge difference, especially if you boost any gain, anything like in the processing when you
Mm-hmm.
bring it into your Reason or whatever, and you're gonna up the volume, like it takes out all of that hiss. It's just amazing. It's better than we used to have to do it with EQs actually in the past, and it works so much better than an EQ. I mean, you can get a little bit out with the EQ, but this takes it out. It's amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's free.
I have that kind of stuff in Reason too. I honestly didn't even try it because I knew I could just mix in some of the outside sound. You
Yeah,
know what I
that was
mean?
better anyway. I like that sound. I noticed that actually. Actually, I heard birdsong in Mad
A little
World.
bit, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
Mad World actually, I put two videos of me singing beside myself, but that's actually deceptive. I
Hmm.
actually did four takes, two vocal and ukulele where I did the strumming, and two vocal and ukulele where I did the finger picking.
Yeah.
So you were actually hearing four of me. And I thought about putting the video from all four of me on the screen and
Hmm.
doing it that way, but it was just going to be such a giant pain in the ass for my computer to process that and make it so that I could tell that it was synced. That I decided only just doing the two. Plus,
Right.
it gave me the pun that I could be beside myself because of the Mad World.
And it was actually the birds were in key at some points. It was really cool. I loved it.
Yeah,
The bird
that's
song was right in key. And it was
that's a cool song, man.
yeah, I know. Oh man, that's a great song.
I did the Gary Jules version. I didn't do the
Mhm.
Tears for Fears version. I did the
That was on We Are the Hits.
yeah, they all both
That's
of them
cool.
were.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, I heard the Gary Jules version long before I heard the Tears for Fears version. I don't know why, but that's just the one I
Hmm.
was familiar with. Then I heard the Tears for Fears version. It was like faster and like higher. I think it was an F sharp minor, and I did it in E minor. And the Gary Jules version I think is in E minor. I'm not sure. It might be an F
Hmm.
sharp minor. But either way, I learned it in E minor already. So I was just like, well,
Hmm.
why
Actually,
do it
that's what I
faster?
learned from watching your videos. I watch like what transposing can do. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
transpose it and put it into the exact what you need as an artist, I think that's an incredible skill.
Yeah, that cover
I
of Right
admire that.
Now, I changed a lot. I had to change it 4 half steps. The cover of
Hmm.
The Flame, I had to change it 4 half steps. I mean,
Hmm.
there's just some songs that, like, the vocals are just so ridiculously
I
high, and I'm
know.
not a tenor. But,
Yeah.
but, don't change the song, or the singer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, don't change the singer. Change the
Hmm.
song, right?
Exactly.
Don't change the singer. You can't change the singer. How are you going to change the singer? It doesn't make no damn
Hmm.
sense. Change
What
the
did you do on
song
Bon Jovi?
down a whole step.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but some of them were 2 whole steps, and those are the big ones.
Hmm.
You know, because it was just so high that I just couldn't do it otherwise.
I'm
What I
learning a
normally
lot. I'm
do,
learning. I
what
learn a lot from watching you do that. That's amazing.
what I normally do is I'll play one guitar in standard tuning and one in guitar that's dropped 2 frets, D, G, C, F, A, D,
Hmm.
and then I'll, for certain songs, like I'll transpose the song and play it on the guitar that's detuned.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Right?
That's
Because I
really
want the
cool.
guitar fingerings to still kind of line up.
Hmm.
You know, I don't want them to be too different from the original song, because a lot of times, if it's a guitar song, if you transpose it, you could totally make it hard to play. You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I
true.
mean? But if it's a piano
Yeah.
song, the song driven by piano is generally easier to
Mhm.
choose your key to make it somewhere where it's not only easy for your voice but also easy to play on the guitar.
Mhm.
Capo's incredibly
I
valuable
know.
tool.
That's what I was gonna say. When in doubt, just get out the capo.
Oh man, I remember one time I was doing a gig. This drunk guy came up to me, and I had just finished a song with a capo, and he said, "You know, you're cheating." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's
Cheating.
like, "You should have to fucking press your whole hand down there. You shouldn't be allowed to use that little clip to help you." And I said, "Okay, all right. Following your logic, then using a pick is cheating too." And he says,
That's
"No,
the
that's
worst
fine.
advice.
That's
I've heard
fine."
that before. I've heard that the capo is cheating too, but it's not. It actually helps you think of ideas personally. Like I love to just switch keys. Like even what we did in Kirtan is sometimes tune down to drop D and put it on the third fret and get that F.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different F. It just sounds different. The guitar, like it has to me, it has nothing to do with cheating. It has to do with variety. And one of my favorite bands, Zeppelin, like I remember as a kid like trying to learn like Zeppelin, and everything was in some weird tuning, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like and really it was all the same chords. I mean, not to put down Zeppelin. I love Zeppelin and the solo. I love Zeppelin, so I'm not putting them down, but it's a lot of simple chord shapes just tuned down, and that's what makes it sound so unique, which I'm a proponent of. I'm huge. I think that was probably part of their success. It wasn't just you know 440, just in tune or whatever, just concert tune. Like they did so much with those weird tunings. It makes it harder to play, or you got to figure out and transpose and do something crazy to actually play it, and not have to change your guitar, which sucks. When you got to change it, you got to tune. But now with the new tuners, I mean, you can just change pretty quickly. But still, anything new and unique, I'm for. Honestly, I would never limit you. That's somebody that whoever that guy was somebody that didn't play guitar, in my opinion. The
Well,
capo is a great tool. I
exactly,
mean, I
and
see maybe they're perfectionists. Like, hey, you should have figured that out. So you could use bar chords the whole time, and then you can say to them, "Well, I've been playing for like an hour here." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
anyway, but still,
Mm-hmm.
just
That's
using those
another
chord.
reason too, because
Exactly.
when you're a performer, right? People that are watching don't think about that. If you got to do a 4-hour show,
I
sure
know.
you could bar everything for every song, but I mean, what's the shape of your finger muscles, hand muscles, and wrist muscles going to
Exactly.
be at like, and your forearm,
Exactly.
when you're done with 3-4 hours,
Exactly. It
you
actually
know.
fatigues you and makes you worse of a player as far as soloing or getting into scales or modes or something like that, in my opinion.
I've been
Because,
there where I
yeah.
was like playing a show. Say I was doing a 3-4 hour gig as a solo artist. I would do so many. I would do say 15, 20 minutes of saxophone until I would start to feel a little bit of pressure, and then I knew that if I did another 20 minutes of saxophone, by the end of that, you know. I wasn't going to be my best. And then if I
Exactly.
continued on and did a whole hour of just saxophone, the last half an hour was not even going to not be my best, but it was going to be lousy. So I
Totally.
started. I would do 10 minutes of saxophone, and then I'd sing and play for 10 minutes, and then I would play guitar, and then I would switch, and I would switch back and forth. And by giving myself those little breaks, switching up what musculature I was using, what techniques I was using, I allowed myself to make it through the full 4-hour set much easier, while also providing variety for the people listening and showing off my versatility. So,
Exactly.
you
And
know,
that's your biggest asset. You can hop on, like, actually, just for people that don't know, I was talking about the harmonium earlier. Maybe it was a different jamming chat by now. He's going to have to cut this up. um I would pass the harmonium to Matthew, and he would do something amazing with it. Like that
Like
is
drone one note for like
that
10 minutes.
no, you actually played melody lines and everything and put it on it. When I listen to the recordings, I'm like, wow, that is so cool what you put
Yeah, it's
underneath.
the I what I would
And
do is echo the melody while holding a drone. That's it.
yeah, and so anyway, but still your versatility and like I remember one time Matthew's like, you know what, I'm gonna just play the drums on this one, and I'm thinking to myself, that would be a waste. You know, he could play the EWI, he could play the saxophone, he could play the guitar, he could play the harmonium. You know what I mean? I'm thinking to myself, drums, just let somebody else do that for God's sakes. But then I realized after you said it, because I remember you said something like that. You know, it is good that I break it up myself, even. You know what I mean, and give
Mhm.
myself a break. And actually, I learned a lot in that moment because my thinking was, man, we could get them doing something better than that. You know what I mean?
Krishna Kali,
And
Krishna
that's why he's
Kali.
such a great teacher for all of you. If people are listening here, like and need lessons, like that versatility, like that's one thing. Like I've been trying to break out the harmonium and learn a little bit, but I always go back to the guitar because it's my first love, and I just love it. And I dedicated time to memorizing the fretboard and working with it, and so. But I think it is good to push yourself into other instruments, and I do love playing the harmonium when I do it. You know, I actually do. I just don't feel confident yet, which that is something that you just got to jam, really. You just
Mhm.
got to do, and you just got to say forget about it and just do whatever you can. And then you find something cool, and I think that's one of my favorite things about being a musician, pushing yourself to the kind of that limit and scaring yourself a little bit, and that's when you do your best work, honestly.
Thank you very much for joining me on Matthew's Music Lesson Studio. Please share this video, like, and subscribe to join my more than 500 subscribers. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. And please continue to tune in for all the great shows that I have to offer you, like Matthew's Favorite Covers, Jam and Chat, Mastering Music with Matthew, original music from my band, Mellify, parodies by the Brown Streaks, and of course, music lessons. If there's anything specific you'd like me to cover, or any topic you'd like me to discuss, or an idea for a video that you have, or a collaboration you'd like to do, all those things are proper for the comments down below. Thank you so much for joining me. And did you know that you can get online music lessons from me on Zoom? $20 for a 30-minute lesson. This is a rock bottom price, live one-on-one, me and you, and I record it MP4 for you. And you can then review that lesson forever. You can have it so we can go over it, you can practice along with it, and then that way, no matter what, you can relax and enjoy the lesson. So please, MatthewsMusicLessonStudio.com. I'll see you guys next time on Matthew's Music Lesson Studio.